Alright, so today I'm going to try to install another piece of the stripe kit on the car. I'm not a professional and I'm not good at this at all, but I'm going to do my best because I'm the only one here to do it. So here goes, and I guess if I really mess it up, I'll never air this video. Anyway, we'll give it a try here. So what I've done is I've taped it on where I want to put it. I measured from here to the body line, from here to the body line to make it match up so that it's uniform all the way around the back window. I'm not going with factory location. I don't even know where factory location is, but I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about it looking good on the car. So that's what I'm doing. So I basically just put it on, I taped it on where I want it. I put a piece of tape at the back here, and I put little lines on it to show me where it's located, so that when I take it down to peel the backing off, I can put it back up and know exactly the location that I wanted it. So without further ado, here we go. I'm just going to peel it down like this. Now what I've done is I've cleaned the car very well before I started. Looks like it could use a little more cleaning, so I'm going to just clean it off a little bit more before I start. The key is to having a very clean car, because if you have any little nibs of dirt or anything like that, it will stick to the vinyl and make a mess. It'll leave little bumps underneath it. Okay, so hopefully that's clean. Looks pretty clean. All right, so I did do the stripe on the door, and I did one on the hood as well so far. And I've learned the key is to keeping this very, very wet until you're ready to leave it as a permanent fixture on the car. So I'm going to grab a spray bottle and use soap and water to soak this down. It also eliminates getting dirt on the vinyl. I'm going to spray the vinyl first. Maybe have a different spray pattern would be good. There we go. So I'm going to spray it down very liberally. I'm not a professional at this. I know a professional can do this in a matter of a few minutes and turn it just perfect. But I'm not that, so I have to do everything very, very carefully to get it exactly the way I want it to go. So my first flaw is my tape is no longer going to stick. That's okay, I don't need it to. So I've lined this up to my back lines that I created. All I do is put a piece of tape on behind it and drew a line onto the tape from the backing of the vinyl to indicate where I wanted it to rest when it's done. Now I have left a little piece of the wax paper up here, just let go. And basically just so this doesn't stick to the door, because I need to line it up to the stripe on the door, but I don't want it to actually stick to the door. So I'm going to peel this tape off here now. I'm lost. I am. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to try my best. Okay. This is also much harder when you're on video because you're concentrating on trying to talk to the audience at the same time you're trying to concentrate on what you're doing. It would be okay if it's something I do every day, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but because this is something new to me, it's a little bit harder. I thought these were magnetic, but apparently they're not. Just the little ones that are magnetic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeegee this out, kind of starting from the middle, working my way to the edges. And all I'm doing is getting a good majority of the water out, because I feel like I have my graphic where I want to locate it. So I'm just going to push the water out. If you've come onto my channel to learn how to do this, you might want to check with somebody else. And who knows, maybe I'm a natural at this. Maybe it'll work out really good. Or maybe I will mess it up. Got a wrinkle there. I don't really like. Wrinkles up here. It doesn't help that I bought this vinyl probably 5 years ago, and it's been sitting rolled up in a box, so it's not exactly flat. I tried leaving it out for a little while to flatten it out, try to get some of the creases out of it. I don't know how effective that was. I don't feel like it's really accomplished too much to do that. It was worth a try. Not making a lot of progress here. Very slow progression. But progress is progress. This is better than no progress. sometimes it's hard to tell if the bubble is in the vinyl or just in the wax paper. Care if the wax paper has bubbles in it, doesn't matter at all to me. Throw my squeak. There's a pretty serious bubble here. Wet this. If you're watching a professional right now, they would have the whole car would be finished already. And they'd be laughing at me if they were watching me. See how long it takes to do one little piece. But I do want it to be nice. I do want it to be straight. The main thing is that it follows the contours of the body. I've seen a lot of these decals applied, even from the factory, that I didn't really like the look of how they lined up to the car. They didn't really match the body contour well. And they just look very sloppy. I think we're going to bring this front piece back up for a second. We've got a wrinkle in here that we can't seem to solve by going to the back. I'm going to try to go for the front. I also have to line it up to the body line, to the line on the front of the car that I've already installed. So that's the other tricky part. It's getting it lined up to that. Keep dropping stuff. We don't need a table in here. But it's too late for that. So I feel like I'm too high on my body line here. See where it lines up to the door. It's not lining up to the door. It's hard to tell with this other piece in behind it. I'm going to take this off. It's not doing me any justice. I'm also going to cut the front of that off so that I can see the lines where they meet. It's going to be a long video, folks. Might be a good time to grab some popcorn. Alright. That's not lining up there. down a little bit here. Let's get one up to the car. Like that. Ironically, this stripe looks like it's printed a little bit wider than the other one. Not quite sure why that is. Hopefully it doesn't show up in the end result when I tuck it into the quarter panel. Don't think a refund is in order at this point if it doesn't fit, because they're probably not going to honor a refund after 5 years. Now the bottom line's lined up, the top line isn't. It's pretty interesting. And the big line isn't even the same size. So I don't know what we're going to do with that yet. Decisions. But we're already committed at this point, so we're going to keep going. There's no backing down now. Dropping stuff. This is my everyday life. I drop stuff all the time. I'd like to say I'm used to it, but you never really get used to having to pick stuff up constantly. It's a bit of a pain. So as I'm pushing the water out, it's eventually sticking down. I did put a lot of water on it, so I have to keep working it, but that was the idea. Is I wanted to have lots of time to play with it and not be in a mad rush trying to get this on. A little wrinkle right there. Bottom straight. Looks like a permanent wrinkle. Doesn't look like anything I can do to get it out because it's stuck to itself. So hopefully I can take a heat gun to it when I'm done. I have to use an X-Acto blade to slice it. Get that crease out, and it very well could be a crease from waiting 5 years to install the kit. Maybe if I had taken the kit out of the box when I got it and let it rest, it might have been okay. The problem is cars, you think it's going to be a quick project. It turns out to not be a quick project. This car has taken me a very long time to get to this point. I do have a little bit of help sometimes from my friends, but for the most part I'm on my own, and they're not car guys, so when they come to help me, they're just kind of taking directions from me as to what I need done, which is great. Guess I can take my piece of tape off now. Marker tape. A lot of water in this still. So all I did for the water solutions, I just used Dawn dish detergent and water. I just put a little bit of dish soap in. And it just makes it so that the vinyl doesn't stick until you're ready for it to stick. Now, as far as an installation kit goes, I bought this install kit from Amazon. It was just a cheap kit. Came with a few different kinds of squeegees. Has little tiny squeegees too for getting into little corners and stuff. Came with a little X-Acto knife. A couple magnets that really come in handy for when you're first putting the vinyl on to get it into position. It was a good little kit. It was very cheap. Only like $15. But I put the first stripes on with my credit card. So I feel like this is an upgrade. I'm not sure which squeegee I'm supposed to use for first and second. One of them's softer than the other, but I can't tell the difference between them. So I'm just going to switch back and forth between them and see which one does the best job. See which one I like better. I'm not one for following instructions anyway. I'm not good at following directions. Started right at kindergarten with my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Foster. She knew that I wasn't well at taking directions. A secret weapon right here. It's good for smoothing out wrinkles. It's good for hammering on things. Last night I was putting the trim on around the windshield and putting it down on the clips. The arm works great for that. Just use it like a mallet. Hit the trim down and it goes right into place. You don't have to worry about taking a hammer and scratching your paint or breaking your windshield. So I guess I have a bit of an advantage over some people. There's advantages to having disadvantages, I guess. Really, what it's all about is sheer determination. I'm determined to do stuff, and so I do. If I let people discourage me, my whole life would be different right now. So I never let anyone stop me from what I wanted to do. Just did it. Live my life the way I want. Now, do I dare peel this off? I know I've seen people do this before. They leave the film on until everything's dry. Problem I have with that is I don't know what's under the wax paper to know if there's any bubbles or anything that I should be concerned about. And if I wait too long, then that'll all be dried up and it'll be too late. I won't be able to fix anything then. So I'm wondering if I should peel this off now at the risk of messing it up. If it wants to peel off, that is. It's still kind of wet, so it wants to not stick to the car very well. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that for a little bit. Let it get a little more dried out. Because I don't want to change the direction of my stripes. It starts peeling up and I try to lay it back down. I'm not going to get it perfectly straight. That is going to look awful. I'm trying not to make it look too awful. I'm trying to make it look half decent. I realize there's pros out there that could do a better job than me. They've got better tools than me. They've got more knowledge, more skills. I completely get that. But there's also people out there that think they know a lot of stuff, and then they'll do a job for you, and in the end, they didn't do as good of a job as you were hoping for. They weren't as professional as what they put themselves out to be, and there's lots of people out there like that. Back to the other squeegee. Okay, I feel like this one doesn't have the same pushing power as the other one. I'm trying to get the water out. This one doesn't really cut it. I think this is the primary one. The one you start with to get the big bubbles out and stuff. And then this one here is the one you finalize everything with. Yeah, definitely. It's got a much better bite on it. It really bothers me. I've got that little lump in there, but I can't do anything about it. Also bothers me that the lines don't line up on the door. It seems to be wider than what the door is. I don't really know a solution for that. Am I going to cut it? I'm not going to cut it smaller. I'm just hoping that when I tuck it into the door gap, that it's going to disappear. You won't see the size difference. I'm hoping so. Hope so. I don't really get another chance at this. These kits are rather expensive. The backside of the squeegee works for taking water out better. Be careful not to paint. I guess we'll see what the end result is at the end of this video. We'll know if I should have paid somebody or not. These kits, I think they're going for over $300 Canadian now, plus shipping. So it's rather expensive to get it here. There we go. Do it nice and slowly. No hurry. I'll make sure it doesn't lift anywhere along the way. Man, the little stripey isn't staying put. It wants to come with the paper. Give it a tool to hold that down. Change the shape of it at all. Bring down ever so slowly. Still a lot of water in this. Maybe we'll let that dry out for a minute. I'm going to take a refreshment break and I shall return in a couple minutes. Don't worry, I won't make you sit there and wait for me. I'll cut the video. Okay, I'm back. So, we're going to continue peeling this down. Hopefully it's dry enough at this point. I want to make sure I don't get any bubbles or anything. Take any excess water out of it while I'm peeling it off. See it lifting a little bit there. I don't want these stripes to come up because I'll never get the spacing right on them again. And they look awful. I'm gonna turn a corner. See two little dots on the A for the Roadrunner, not staying on the car. Go back up, rub those in. Hopefully we can get those to stick. Not yet. Change squeegees. Do something a little more aggressive. Don't want my A to look funny. I'm Canadian. A is the most important vowel in the alphabet. A? Most important letter, I should say. Detail all these letters. Hopefully the center will stay on the car. Nope, did not. Center of the E stayed on. Center of the O stayed on. And my A is being complicated. Try it again. Nope. Okay. Well, that's a problem. My A does not want to stick, eh? I don't know how much harder I could rub that in. Try to keep it there. I don't know how else to keep them on there. Shouldn't have stuck that all the way back up there like that. Still wants to come off. So, what are we gonna do? It's very wet there, I can see the wetness. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stick this back on, so. Pull this down. I'm going to cut this off for now. Let that part dry a little bit, let the air get to it. Hopefully, we can get the A to stick. And I'll start peeling from the other side. Find a way to cut this without cutting the car. Really bad. Cut through it. Both layers. There we go. Half a stripe installed. Looks really good. I don't see any. See one little bubble right there. So I should use a squeegee rather than my finger. That's why I bought these big fancy tools. Okay, so I think what I've determined is this squeegee, because it's softer, is better to use directly on the vinyl without scratching the vinyl or the paint. Whereas the other squeegee is more aggressive to use through the wax paper. I think I'm going to open the door. Hopefully I'm not blocking the view too much. I'll open it right up. And carefully knock these around the corner. A squeegee. I used to have the fancy tools. So the blue one's a more aggressive one. You can use through the wax paper. cleaned my door jamb very thoroughly too when I started this, so that it would hold the sticker. Hopefully it does. I really wish I didn't have to peel this off the corner. I feel like it's not going to peel nicely. Like if I was going to make it off paper. Like it does. If my prediction is correct. So now, I'm at a crossroad. What do I do? Because I don't want to get the center out of my hay. I don't want to mess this corner up. Maybe I have to go back to this. See if I can get it to dry up a little bit. Get it to stick. I shouldn't have cut that. I should have just left it there. I didn't like that it kept sticking to the top part. Very carefully. Such a small little bit, it's hard to even see it. I think I can get these guys to stick now. I don't think so. No, maybe not. It's off the wax paper, but it's not in the right position. So I have to adjust it. Like so. My A is on the right spot. I'm just worried that it's not really sticking, but I'm hoping that the water will evaporate out of it and then I can stick it down better. And we made it past the letters. I think that butter should be okay. Once it dries, you just push it down. Fine. And the water should come out of it now that it's opened out. I don't have the wax paper on there. careful with this spatula because it's got kind of a sharp little edge on it. It's great for pushing the bubbles out, but don't want to dig into my fresh paint with it. Doing a pretty good job. So I'm just turning the corner with the direction of the stripe. I figure that's the best way to do it. Got my little crease now that was in here. Not sure which way to push it because it's almost like it's stretched in that spot. I think the heat gun might fix that. Put some water in here. Quite a bit of water in here. Just very slowly. Okay. Water in here. Push that out. Over here too. Came with nice. Water in it. I probably was a little generous with the water. I wanted to make sure that I had lots of time to work with this. Probably didn't need that much. This bottom line has a lot of stretches in it. It's got a lot of little bubbles in it where it's buckled and it's got nowhere to go. Can't take it to the front, can't take it to the back. Maybe I could bring it to the front. Now we've got the wrapper off. Okay, so there you have it. It's got a couple little bubbles to work out of it still. So there's the stripe. Basic insanity installed. I can see that my lines do not line up here. I'm gonna have to figure out how to solve that. It's an utter shame that it doesn't line up better. But I'll have to try to figure out how to solve this. Okay, so I'm not happy with how the stripe lines up. It doesn't line up with the door nicely. It looks like it's on a different angle than the door. I'm not really happy with it. So at the risk of messing it up, I'm going to try to freehand it and get it in the place where I want it. Now I've put tape on to show my guidelines of where I want it to be at the ends, but I want a little more curve in here, and then I have to make the other pieces match it. So I may be messing this thing completely up, but I'm going to try it because I'm not happy with it the way it is anyway. So I've got nothing to lose at this point, because I'll always look at it and be disappointed with how it turned out. Now I can get my wrinkles out of this piece as well, because I'm going to peel it right back. There we go. Wrinkles are out. And I'm just following my tape line that I put on here of where I want the graphic to flow to. More like that. So as you can see, my gap is quite different between this piece and this piece. So now I have to find a way to stretch the other piece down so it will line up with that. This is all experimentation. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm hoping I can make it happen. Put some more water on this so I can move it around. A lot more like that. I want it lower in this section. I don't care if my bottom stripe doesn't have a perfect gap with it. I don't think I'm not concerned about it. I don't know, maybe I should peel that back and just try to straighten it out a little bit. Try to get the gap right. Now's the time to do it while it's wet. You wouldn't want to come back tomorrow and say, well, don't like it so much, because you can't change it at that point. I like that stripe right there where I like it. something like that. It's going to line up with my door properly. So the only obstacle I have is this big wrinkle right here. And I'm hoping if I take a heat gun to that, I can shrink it. Now I might end up wrecking my stripe too. But it's a risk I'm willing to take because I want the stripe to look right. Try not to touch the vinyl with my fingers because my fingers are dirty. I've been working on a dirty car all day. I don't want to affect the sticky side with my fingers. That looks better to me. The wrinkle isn't so bad in this, so I might be able to work it out with a heat gun. Hoping so. If I can get it like that, then it's going to line up nicer to the door. I don't know if I want one big wrinkle or if I want a bunch of little wrinkles and shrink them all down. I'm not sure which is the best way to go with this. I really don't know what I'm doing. I think I've said that a few times in this video so far. Okay, I'm going to grab a squeegee some of the water out of the end of this so that it stays in place. And then I'll try to shrink the metal down, the middle, and get it to fit. Hopefully, I can shrink it down with a heat gun. And hopefully I don't shrink it too much. Trying to work a big bubble out here. Work some water out of it. I got my crease out of here now, which I'm quite happy with that because there was nothing I could really do with the crease. It was going to just be permanently there, and I would have had to try to work it out with a heat gun and possibly cutting it with the X-Acto blade. I think this vinyl should be forgiving enough to stretch the way I want it to. Really hoping so. And then the fun part is I'm going to have to match the other side of the car with this side. So I'm going to have to do the same thing on the other side. That's going to be the joyous part of this whole thing. making it all match. Alright, I'm gonna grab my extension cord. My heat gun. And everything's falling on the floor. Okay. The heat gun. And it's already on. Turn it off. Plug it in. Let's see what happens. On the lowest setting, and I'm just gonna do it in a little bit. Okay, so got it shrunk a little bit. Gonna try to squeegee it, see where we're at. I know there's probably guys that do wraps all the time out there that are laughing at this because they deal with contours of cars all the time with flat vinyl. This is a whole new experience for me. Seems to be a little better. I'll try hitting it again. I'm just doing it till it troubles a little bit, and then I'm stopping because I don't want to put too much heat to it. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. It's trying to lay down. It's got one little pucker here that keeps coming up. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. Now it's flattened out. It's in the position I want it in. Push that in a little bit. Push that in a little bit. Take the tape off there. Push that in a little bit. Now if it doesn't stick on this corner, my thought is I can get some clear nail polish or something like that to help stick it down, but it's wet right now, so it's obviously not going to stick very well. Well, it's wet, but I have had problems with adhesion on corners before. They're a little tricky to get them done. Let me just shut the door here. And now you can see it's lined up much, much better than it was. That top stripe could still come down just a slight bit. The bottom stripe's a little bit low, so maybe I'll adjust those a little bit. But it's looking pretty good. It looks better than it did, for sure. The middle stripe is still wider, but I think it'll be more forgiving as long as the little stripes line up. So if we peel this back off a little bit. Right to about there. I took my tape off this one, so I don't know where my reference line is. Put another piece of tape on it, so I know where I took it off of. So I can put it on a little bit lower. I'm just leaving a slight little gap between the tape and the stripe when I lay it back on, so I know that it's just a little bit closer to what I want. Okay, so put that tape on there, put this back. Maybe about there. Maybe a little low now. See how it looks. This issue looks pretty good. I'm going to call that a win. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please watch for more crazy content of things I don't know what I'm doing. And we'll see you next time.